My father was an alcoholic. My mother was a psychopath. I was tortured from a very early age.
I want my goddamn Mountain Dew! I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find my goddamn Mountain Dew. Yeah, did you drink my Mountain Dew? Did you?
YouTube! Hey, 500 people have subscribed to my videos by hitting subscribe. Or subscribe. I don't remember which side of tone. But anyway.
And thank you everybody, man, that at home that voted for me. Thanks for my wife who's changed my life and given me something to fight for. And move on from there as exes. I guess that's what we already are. I mean, the ring is off. We're Facebook official. And it's over. Myself, I'm not a very outraged person. It's difficult for me to get upset about stuff that I read on the internet. You know, I'm just happy to be alive. I'm a happy person.
I put you together. You got a mouth. So you're gonna talk? Are you gonna talk? Are you gonna talk?
Years exposing the nice guy of YouTube, Boogie2988, as a complete fraud and a very manipulative, lying, bad guy, right?
And the first question I get here is, Boogie, is that the real you? And the answer is no. It's absolutely a character that we've generated and we've created.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988.
Boogie2988 coming at you live through the power of that YouTube. Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Boogie2988 coming at you live once again. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet.
Boogie2988 is a YouTuber known for his commentary videos, sketches, and everything in between.
Can I see you naked, Sarah Carter? Yes.
During his time on YouTube, he amassed around 4.5 million subscribers. He may be known to those subscribers as Boogie, but he was actually born Stephen J. Williams on July 24th, 1974. Stephen grew up in the southern western part of Virginia in a place called St. Paul. He had one older brother named Brian and one older sister named Carla, and two parents who, unfortunately, made his young life very difficult.
I grew up in a toxic home. My father was an alcoholic. My mother was a psychopath.
Stephen's father was a coal miner, and when not working, he spent the rest of his time drinking, sometimes drinking up to 30 beers a day. According to Stephen's brother, their father used to be a pretty relaxed, fun guy, but by the time Stephen was born, that had sadly changed. As for Stephen's mother, she worked as a teacher, but according to Stephen, she didn't enjoy her life. She was angry most days and would take that anger out on young Stephen. She would scream at him, hit him, tell him how much she hated him. The relationship between he and his mother was a terrible one. It got even worse when his father suffered a seizure. He was unable to look after himself. That task was left to Stephen and his mother, and when his father passed away from cancer, the relationship got even worse between Stephen and his mother. She screamed at him more and hit him more. All Stephen wanted was for someone to come and save him.
Many years praying for help, and never came.
For many unfortunate children who have to endure an abusive home life, going to school can be something of a refuge, but it wasn't for young Stephen.
Even when I was a kid, they called me Thunder Thighs and Bubble Butt and Fatty Four Eyes, and when I'd walk down the hall, they'd go, boom, baba, boom, baba. And, you know, they called me Jabba the Hutt.
Stephen didn't have many friends at school, and although he didn't enjoy being there, he did enjoy some parts, like playing the drums. He also played the tuba. He did want to learn to play the guitar, but because of his large fingers, he couldn't manage it. And he always seemed to be ill as a child, whether it be from chickenpox or allergies. Whatever the illness, he always seemed to be sick.
When I was younger, I suffered from all kinds of health issues. I was overeating, I had asthma, I didn't exercise very much. I didn't watch my sugar intake, So, of course, I became diabetic. I did not watch my weight.
His weight quickly became a problem, but he couldn't figure out why he was bigger than everyone else.
We would watch television, and people on television would eat very differently than we were. We were eating snack cakes and sodas and garbage all day, just human garbage, just actual garbage. And we would watch people on television eat salads and vegetables, and I would say, Mom, why don't we eat like people on television did? My mother, who's my caretaker, would say, nobody actually eats like that. Everybody eats like us. We eat the way everybody else does. On television, they're just putting on airs. That's for television. And I grew up believing that, I don't know why I'm not losing weight when I'm eating like everybody else does. I see the other kids at school drinking a soda. I didn't know that they weren't drinking 12 a day like my family did.
His mother also had another reason for feeding Stephen such an unhealthy diet.
She told me over my birthday dinner that she fed me wrong on purpose. The plan was that if I got so fat and so unhealthy, I would never meet a girl, I would never be able to leave her, that she wouldn't have to die alone. And that was the plan. So she always overfed me and always made sure there's plenty of disgusting foods around.
Stephen was named after his grandfather, who sounded like an interesting man.
And I'm named after a grandfather of mine who was a holiness preacher, snake handler, fire walker, you name it. He worked out of the hills of Kentucky. And I thought as a child that it would be my calling to actually use my gift of gab, my capacity for speech, to preach the Word of God.
He may believed it his destiny to be a preacher, but that never happened. He did dream big though, wanting to be an astronaut, or an actor on TV, or a famous writer. He loved Stephen King in particular. He even wanted to be a stand-up comedian, growing up loving George Carlin, wanting to be just like him. And he grew up always fascinated with cameras and audio equipment.
I was always desperate to own video cameras and audio equipment. And I always had a fascination with it, but one of the reasons I wanted that was to prove what was going on in our home, because no one would ever believe me that I was being mentally or physically abused. And I always wanted to find some way to capture that.
Stephen had not enjoyed growing up. However, his life improved immensely when he entered a government program called Upward Bound. Here he made friends. People thought he was cool and funny, and shared the same interests. Video games, Dungeons and Dragons. He even got to use his first real computer. For the first time in his life, Stephen was genuinely happy. And when he went off to college, things got even better. More friends, girlfriends. People liked him for him. However, what would go on to be a theme in Stephen's life, his happiness would not last long. Stephen's emotional state took a nosedive when he and his girlfriend broke up. His grades slowly got worse and worse, and he didn't end up graduating from college. He was in a bit of a limbo. He wasn't really sure what to do with his life. Then his brother offered him the chance to move to Fayetteville, Arkansas, which he took. He would later say that this was the best decision he would ever make. Stephen, though, wouldn't stay with his brother long and would move out. In his words, he was basically homeless, hopping from couch to couch. He eventually found his way to living in an apartment with a roommate, who Stephen grew to consider a true friend. Things were looking up. His mental health, though, took a nosedive once again.
I spent about 7 years shut in to my home. And I had a handful of friends that would come over from time to time to see me, but I wouldn't go over to other people's houses. I wouldn't go out and do anything. I spent 7 years as a shut-in.
Eventually, Boogie would find a job in a local card and gaming shop, and find some great friends. He became a huge fan of Magic the Gathering, and had a better life than he ever could have hoped for when he was younger.
Well, we sure have had fun, boys and girls. Isn't that right? Yeah!
I wanted to ask a favor of you. Yeah? Taste the rainbow. Taste the fucking rainbow! Taste it! Taste that rainbow! Taste the rainbow. Jessica? Taste the rainbow.
Larry, tell me what you think about your mono red deck.
It sucks. I don't know.
Okay. And what about your play style?
I'm stupid.
I concur.
I'm gonna open it now, I'm sure.
Yeah?
It's greasy.
my God! Oh God!
What is it? What is the car? Oh my God! Oh my God! Live right here! Live from Gallery of Champions in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Look at this! Look at this! A foil premium Demon Fire. Foil Demon Fire. How do you feel right now, Monty? How do you feel?
I'm going to Disney World!
Woo! Woo! Big, small, big, small.
Stephen would also work as a web designer. He was extremely good with computers, and it was a good thing he was, because soon he would discover something that would give his life purpose. Stephen began making YouTube videos under the name Boogie2988 in April of 2006. The early days of YouTube were dominated by home movies and cat videos, unlike now where it's mukbang, drama, and cat videos. Acting silly in front of your camera at home was very big back then, so Stephen jumped on the silly train and began making videos that mainly focused on the wackiness and focused on his weight.
This ain't Diet Coke. I'm fat as hell. Fat as hell.
Eating cereal in the dark.
Just eating chips. And, I turned the webcam on. I turned it on. I don't know what's going to happen. Playing World of Warcraft.
Holy fuck. Oh, it's dribbling down.
If I die this year, I want this picture on my tombstone.
Isn't it cute? It's a tasty little holiday cupcake, which now has to pay the ultimate price.
Stephen knew he didn't have much to offer the internet, but an overweight guy doing silly things, he assumed people would want to watch. And he was right.
YouTube! Hey, 500 people have subscribed to my videos. The exciting news is that I now have over 1,000 subscribers. Yes, 1,000 subscribers.
And, my channel just happened to break, 2,000 subscribers. This weekend I've hit the illustrious 3,000 subscriber mark.
But Stephen wasn't just content with making videos about his weight, he wanted to be more than that.
It just gives me an excuse to post some quality content on YouTube, which I hope you guys know I'm capable of. Hi YouTube! Hi! I have a halo now! It's a helicopter, YouTube! I'm on a helicopter! I duct tape my eyeballs for YouTube hits!
Woof.
Sitting on the toilet. 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 Sitting on the toilet.
This video is terrible. This may be the worst video on YouTube right here. And I'm responsible for, I think, the worst damn videos on YouTube. I mean,
Stephen then created the character of Jesse, a redneck who liked to tell stories from his youth. The character, though, didn't exactly set the internet alight.
Well, I played football when I was younger, and I played for a team called the Blue Devils. No, we weren't no devils. We's good boys. But, well, when I was a boy, we didn't have no, Nintendo Wii's, and, didn't have no, Xbox 480.
Then Stephen created Francis. It was his take on a stereotypical, overweight, nerdy gamer, someone who would get angry and lose their temper easily.
Where's my Mountain Dew?
What are you talking about, man?
No, where's my Mountain Dew? I keep it in the microwave.
No, you have.
Do you see my glass? I'm raiding it here.
Francis may have been a stereotypical nerd, but Boogie wasn't. Sure, he liked video games and nerdy card games, but he wasn't a complete stereotype.
Miss Star Trek is in my top 10, ranked them from best to worst. You know, I'm not a big Star Trek fan.
Good Lord.
Even by Stephen's own account, Francis wasn't too dissimilar to the person he used to be not that long ago. Francis was a big hit for Stephen. He would still post other videos, rambling videos, silly random videos, but Francis was by far his biggest draw, and when he uploaded a video of Francis angry at World of Warcraft not working, well, that's when people really began to notice the channel.
My Warcraft account has been hacked. God damn it, to go with the first Lich King kill. Enemy Blitz. I played that game for 5 years. I've played that game for 5 years. I paid almost $1,000 to play a fucking game.
Stephen would later explain how the video got noticed by so many people.
Another YouTuber by the name of Ray William Johnson featured that video on a show called Equals 3, and that sent tens of thousands of people to that video, many of which chose to subscribe, and I had my first viral hit.
So, being mentioned by a bigger name really helped out his channel. And actually, a similar thing happened to me and this channel.
Hey everybody, PewDiePie here, and I think you should all go check out Mr. Snowflake. He is a much better YouTuber than me. His content is very nice.
Because of his difficult upbringing and the weight problems, he was seen almost as the underdog, and fans warmed to him. Stephen managed to stay current and on trend. He was always up for what was next, and his fans were right beside him.
Oh God! Oh Jesus! Ah! Ah!
Do the Harlem Shake.
Why? Ah! Ah! Oh my God! Oh!
So, because of the Francis videos and his videos keeping up with the latest trends and challenges, Boogie's channel would eventually go on to be one of the bigger channels on the platform.
So last night I hit 60,000 subs. I'm now at 526,000 subscribers. And today we have reached 750,000 subscribers, making a video I never thought I would make. And that's a video celebrating my million subscriber landmark. Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And take a look. We just passed the 3 million subscriber mark. Almost there, we're almost there, we're almost there, we're almost there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Do it. Do it, yeah! Hell yeah! Should old acquaintance be forgot and never...
If Stephen ever needed a video to do particularly well, he knew he just needed to make it a Francis one. He started to make more and more Francis videos, Francis swearing and breaking stuff, having tantrums over minute things. He would do anything with Francis, whatever it took to get the most views, even reading 50 Shades of Grey as the character.
Anticipation hangs heavy over my head like a dark tropical storm cloud. Butterflies flood my belly, as well as darker, carnal, captivating ache as I try to imagine what he will next do to me.
But Boogie didn't reach 4 million plus subscribers without having to endure life struggles along the way. Not long after first finding a little fame on YouTube, Boogie's mother was taken ill into hospital, and when Boogie went to visit her, she died.
Here we go. Morning.
Good morning.
Who are you?
Somebody come off the street last night.
Nice. You're a homeless woman?
I'm a homeless woman.
I like what you've done with the place. What you working on?
I'm making spaghetti for my sorry son.
Yeah, he's pretty damn sorry. Hey, what do you think about him being on that TV?
Well, that's my son.
What do you think about him being on that internet, that YouTube?
That's my son.
You think he's crazy?
As long as he don't eat dukes, I'm happy with him.
Even though he and his mother didn't have the best relationship, her passing crushed him.
It really put things into focus for me. It made me want to record more serious videos so that I could communicate some of the things that I've experienced and felt and enjoyed, that I could bring some sense and peace to people in this world. Pass on some of the good things that she had passed on to me.
Boogie immersed himself in World of Warcraft all day, every day. That's all he did to try to deal with his mother's death. His mother died in October, and that Christmas, Boogie was sure he met her again.
And I'm playing World of Warcraft, and I feel a hand place itself on my right shoulder. And my immediate thought is, that's my mom's hand. This hand feels exactly the way her hand felt as I was holding it when she passed. As I'm telling people in guild chat what happens, I feel the exact same hand place itself in the exact same position on my right shoulder, and this time I have enough sense to not turn around, and I just say to nothing, "I love you, Mom," and then the hand just kind of disappears. I can't feel it anymore.
He may have lost his mother, but very soon after, he would find something he loved even more than YouTube. Boogie would find love, in the form of a woman named Desiree Williams. The internet would come to know her as Des. She would even play Francis's sister in his videos off camera, and the pair seemed very happy together.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
I'm a pretty girl.
You're so pretty.
I'm a pretty girl.
Des would move in with Boogie and take care of him. The relationship hadn't been going very long, but Boogie was convinced she was the one.
You've given me the possibility, the future of creating a family of my own. Something we've been working on together for the past 2 years. Something I dreamt about as a child. Something that not only did I need, but something that I wanted. Someone to be with, to love, to cherish, to have, and to hold, etc., etc. So that's why I wanted to. That's why I wanted to make it official. So I got you this, and Des, I'm asking you to marry me. Will you marry me? Please say yes, please say yes, please say yes. Please say yes.
Des did in fact say yes, and the two were married on the 28th of September 2013. Boogie was at a place in his life he could have only dreamed about as a kid. He was a very popular YouTuber, entertaining many people all over the world. He was making a living from his videos, and he was married to a fantastic woman who truly loved him. Boogie's life was as good as he could have imagined it, but as always with Boogie, his happiness would never seem to last very long.
But unfortunately, Francis turned out to kind of be poison in this whole new YouTube algorithm. For whatever reason, all my Francis videos got demonetized, like 80-90% of them, and more getting demonetized every single day. YouTube will not rest until they demonetize. And you can see that YouTube is slowly demonetizing the majority of my Francis videos. And not even like the really loud or angry ones, but sometimes like the scary clown rage. There was barely any swearing in this, or Francis gets Halloween candy. There was hardly any swearing in this. But again, the Francis videos are just pretty much getting pushed off of YouTube right now.
Yes, YouTube was demonetizing the Francis videos. Francis was someone YouTube didn't like anymore. Why? Well, Francis would swear a lot, and he was violent. Not exactly what YouTube wanted anymore. YouTube began being extra careful about which videos they put adverts on. And no adverts on Boogie's Francis videos meant his biggest earner was essentially gone. Boogie had amassed a pretty huge fan base by the time the Francis videos started getting demonetized. But still, to have your biggest earner suddenly just disappear wasn't easy for Boogie to take.
Let's see, not trying to be rude, but are you ever genuinely concerned about my weight? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm very concerned about my weight. I know it's killing me. How could I not be?
Another problem Boogie suffered through was his weight, and he did suffer.
But in the last year, I've almost lost my mobility. I am in constant chronic pain. My knees have arthritis, my lower back is in constant pain, my left hip is always in pain, my left thigh muscle burns all the time ever since I injured it in the last July. I am miserable. I am in so much pain. And it's to the point that walking from this room to the bathroom causes such pain, it raises my blood pressure, I'm gasping for air, it triggers an asthma attack. Walking to the car is impossible. When I went to that PlayStation 4 event, by the end of that, I was in so much pain, and thankfully I had solid pain medication to help me get through it. My doctor was kind enough to give me steroids, but even that, it's just unbearable. I have to face the fact that in the last year, my body has begun to fail me. And it's only a matter of time until it fails entirely.
He would make videos about how he was going to lose the weight and wanted his viewers to come along on that journey with him. But when months and months would go by and he had lost nothing, not only would he be disappointed in himself, but many of his fans were left disappointed as well. Because much of his audience truly cared for Boogie and were willing him to make this positive change in his life, the positive change he had been promising them he would make for such a long time.
And for the first time in the 3 years that I've really been trying, really been trying to lose weight, I feel like I'm going to be successful, and that's why I'm making the video here. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I have control of it. And that's why I know, truly believe, that this time I'll be successful at getting it right, because I'm just as motivated today to get it right as I was then to get it wrong.
After over a decade of Boogie promising to lose weight and never having done it, some fans were getting a little bored of it all, and Boogie was fully aware of this.
I'm so tired of hearing about the weight loss. I want the other stuff, and I understand that, but I want you guys to... I'm so certain that this time around I'm not going to fail. And the reason is actually fairly simple. I don't think it's very satisfying for the people watching.
And many were getting a little tired of all the excuses.
The first of which is exercise is nearly impossible for me. I can barely sit comfortably anymore. On top of that, you got the shattered back, the ruined knees, the lymphedema, everything else working against me. That makes it very difficult to get any exercise. And then you have the eating disorder. I have PTSD, I have other issues with anxiety on top of that, social anxiety, so on and so forth. Chronic depression on top of that.
Just do it!
There were brief moments of hope for both Boogie and his fans when Boogie would lose a little weight, only to put it straight back on though. Apparently, the only thing that worked was when he basically starved himself. Viewers weren't buying it though. Even his biggest supporters knew that if Boogie genuinely put the effort in, the weight would have been flying off. Boogie had built his whole channel all around his weight. His first videos were about it, and he had many discussions with his fans about his weight and wanted to bring them along on his weight loss journey. He had wanted people to be invested in his weight loss, and when people did get invested and questioned why he wasn't losing the weight like he said he was going to, Boogie didn't like it.
Number one, you, it's none of your business. It's my body, it's my choice, right? It's only your business when I make it your business, and I'll let you know when it's your business. When I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. When I don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to, so kiss my ass.
Boogie telling people that his weight was none of their business didn't sit right with many, especially the fans who had been with him since day one. Unable to lose the weight naturally, Boogie got some help.
Now for the last 3 months, this marks the 3rd month anniversary, I have been on a weight loss medication that I do not recommend because it is extremely dangerous. In fact, when my doctor recommended it to me, he said, it's so dangerous that you really need to consider, really consider the options. And I'm like, well, I don't like the side effects. I shouldn't take them. He said, well, you're already suffering from a side effect of morbid obesity. And you know what another side effect of morbid obesity is? Death. So these side effects are better than death. I'm like, you got it. Like, that's the way to convince you to do it, right?
Eventually, Boogie got a gastric bypass to shrink his stomach. The bypass was a risk. It could have gone wrong. And Boogie knew this.
Nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine here. And I know that, and you know that. But Crazy doesn't know that. So, just in case, here's what I want to say to you. My life sucked before I met you. Because of you, I changed my life. In the last 7 years, one of the few things I've not been able to change is this, but everything else. To meet the love of my life and to marry her, to meet this dog, to live in this home, to do my dream job, to travel the country, to meet people that I idolize and worship and find out that they know who I am and that they care about me. To meet you guys and have you tell me how I've changed your life, how I've helped save you, how I've helped move you in the right direction, how I've helped at least help you pass the time and make your life a little easier. That's all I ever wanted. When I started YouTube, I wanted to serve as a bad example. Hopefully after the surgery, I'll be able to continue to serve as a good example.
He could have lost the weight through diet and exercise, or really just diet if he wanted. But according to Boogie, he had tried everything to lose the weight in the past.
If I'm awake, statistically speaking, these days, that's where I spend 90-some% of my time, is right here in this chair. Either drinking Mountain Dew, for sure. I have a couple of these a day. I'm also in here about 2 to 3 hours before I go to bed playing PlayStation. This is where the PlayStation 4 Pro ended up. This is where the Xbox One X ended up. I don't really use the treadmill much.
So he had the surgery and was down to around 380 pounds at the beginning of 2018. And with the surgery, the weight was coming off easy. However, even according to Boogie himself, after roughly a year, the weight stops falling off on its own and it becomes harder to lose the weight. You have to get back on being dedicated. Boogie's plan was to lose a little bit of weight each month and get under 250 pounds, so he could get surgery to remove excess skin. So in 2021, almost 4 full years on from being 380 pounds, how much weight had Boogie lost?
A couple months back, I weighed in and I was about 400 pounds, almost 400 pounds.
Boogie has had every opportunity to get down to a healthy weight.
Once I started making a little bit of money, we started involving a nutritionist who told us what to eat and how to eat it. We involved an endocrinologist who tried to get my hormones back together so that my body was in a position where it could burn fat and lose weight. We involved a doctor and a therapist who was able to try to get my back out of pain and get me to physically do things better and actually be able to exercise. We even had a wrestler, Diamond Dallas Page, fly out and intervene on my behalf, trying to set me on the right path. For whatever reason, I could not get on the right path.
And he knew deep down that if he really tried, he didn't actually need the surgery.
Again, to the point that I know that for those of you who don't have access to the surgery or don't want to get the surgery, I know you can do it without it. I probably could too.
So when Boogie would tell his audience he was trying his hardest to lose the weight, it was a little hard to believe.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. Do you think I would choose this Or do you think I'm doing everything I humanly can to fight it?
Boogie would watch others lose weight and would seem highly motivated and convince himself, along with much of his audience, that he was finally going to get to a healthy weight and that this time would be the time he finally does it. To this day, Boogie has not reached his goal weight of 250 pounds. He still has time to do it though. How much time is unknown, of course. Boogie wants to live a long and happy life, and so do much of his audience. Only time will tell if Boogie will ever follow through.
Do it! The first is going to be make sure that my wife is happier than she's ever been. And I'm going to make sure that she is very happy with having married me.
Shortly after Boogie's bypass surgery, his wife ended the relationship. She did originally take some time away to consider what she wanted, but it didn't take her long to realize that Boogie was not what she wanted. Their marriage seemed to be going well in public, but there was always one major issue between the pair.
But just like anywhere else or anyone else on social media, I did not show the bad times, and our marriage was far from perfect. Me and my wife had one major issue that was persistent throughout the entire marriage, and that was my anxiety disorder, my clinically diagnosed PTSD, but more importantly, not just the disorder itself, but the stupid things that I would say and the stupid things that I would do when I was in the middle of a fight or flight attack. It was something that was very, very difficult for my wife to handle. It was something very, very difficult for me to handle. And it pretty much was this constant wedge just right between us from the day we met to the day we separated.
Of course, Boogie was upset by this, but he promised us he was okay.
I am mentally healthier than I've ever been in my life, and I've handled this way better than I ever thought I could.
So, Boogie was doing well, and he promised us he wasn't angry at his wife either. But the people who paid close attention to Boogie's videos noticed the odd little thing here and there that may have indicated he wasn't doing as well as he claimed.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Francis. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Boogie's doing so good. You're an actual sociopath. You're an actual psychopath. You are the reason she left, okay? And you know that. Yeah, Boogie, I'm why she left. I'm also the only reason you found her to begin with, okay? I got a friend you can talk to. Well, look right there.
She's here. I'm sorry, I know you don't like being on camera. How have you been? I know you're tired of hearing it, but I'm really sorry.
You tell me I'm a character, she's a character, right? That's my sister, I guess? That's how you wrote it, right? Yeah. Couldn't you talk? Can't you talk? Huh? I built you. I put you together. You got a mouth. So you're gonna talk? Are you gonna talk? Are you gonna talk? Talk! Talk! You're the reason I left. What? Shut the up. Nobody asked you. I can't say I blame you for leaving. Kinda wish I'd get out of here too. I don't mean this room. I mean away from David, away from that house, away from YouTube, away from it all. Hey, Merry Christmas. Guess what you got? We're going to Disneyland. Oh, you got Just Dance. Gonna be okay. Yourself. Just Dance. Gonna be okay. Go yourself. Another Thanksgiving ruined by you. It's another Easter ruined by you. I really loved you. You hated all of it, didn't you? You hated YouTube. You hated the fame. You hated the fans. You hated the trips. You hated the conferences. You hated the other YouTubers bogarting my time. When I met you, I was a 600-pound man on disability. All right? Look at me now! Look at me now! Does that make you feel good? Does that make you feel superior? Does that make you feel loved? Because it's made me hate you. And And after all that, you took it away. Take a look at me now, 'cause I'm just an empty space. There's nothing left here to remind me, just a memory of your face. So take a look at me now, wow, 'cause I'll be standing tall, and you coming back to me is against all odds, but that's what I gotta face.
Is this what you guys want to see? You want to see crazy? I can show you crazy.
Maybe he wasn't really angry and it was just a silly Francis sketch that meant nothing. However, Boogie did use Francis often to voice his true feelings.
Is Francis a way for you to truthfully speak your mind by just making everyone think it's a skit? There has been times where I will use Francis in that way, saying something that I may not necessarily feel confident saying as myself.
Ruined by you!
Things hadn't been quite right between the pair for a while. Boogie was hoping she would change her mind and come back, but sadly for him, it was not meant to be. Although they did manage to stay friends. Sort of.
Oh boy, here we go.
What do you want?
Hey, it's good to hear your voice. It's been a couple days. How are you doing?
I'm alright.
I made it to 45. What do you think about that?
It's impressive.
VidCon is weird without you. It really is, because like we're all these very familiar places, right? And like going to Disney without you, I've been like 5 times now. It's just so weird. It's your ghost haunts me there. This is a really good story. I don't know if they're going to want to hear this, but so we were driving up to Eureka Springs, and I had been planning for like 3 weeks to ask you to marry me that day. And it was my birthday. Oh my God, it was my birthday. You remember?
Yep.
All of the YouTube videos are still up. You know, our wedding YouTube video is still up and everything. Because I don't see a point in deleting it. People have asked me, like, why I don't delete it, but I'm like, what's the best day of my life? I love that day. Why would I delete that? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, jeez, what a day. You remember I called you a couple weeks back and I talked to you about my suicidal thoughts. We talked about it a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know I've been plagued with that the entire time we've known each other, right? That's something I've struggled with ever since I've known you, right?
Yep.
I will tell you, though, I'll say the thing that probably haunts me the most is every once in a while I hear a song on the radio and have the thought, oh, Des would really like this song. And then I'm like, aw. What are you listening to these days? Any Weird Al?
No.
Somebody says this woman is hilarious. Music is more than... Yeah, why do you think I married this woman? Of course, she's hysterical. She's far funnier than I ever was. Why do you think the Francis videos haven't been good since we separated? Confirm or deny this. Let's see what you think. We got divorced just because it wasn't working.
Right.
Is that pretty much it? We just weren't happy?
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty much it.
But I knew that we were going down a path where we just were not clicking, and we were fighting, and we were resenting each other for things, and I didn't want that to be the end of our story, where we spent the next 20 years of our lives hating each other, you know?
All right, sweetheart. Thank you for answering.
Okay.
I really appreciate you. Have a great day. Hey, she's so sweet. That's the best part about it, is I love still being friends with my ex-wife.
So, Boogie appeared to not be coping all that well without his wife. Something else that really didn't help was the trolls, of which there were plenty. Even at the end of the video where he discussed his mother's passing, the trolls were on his mind.
Anyway, I fully expect a slew of your mom jokes by YouTube trolls, and that's okay.
Like any well-known YouTuber, Boogie has had to deal with his fair share of haters and trolls. However, he wasn't very good at dealing with them. He would find himself messaging back and forth with people who were clearly just trying to bait him. through either the comment section on his videos or on social media, and he would take the bait almost every time.
Videos of me being a complete lolcow, just crying my eyes out on live stream, getting angry and getting hurt, because I feel compelled to respond. I was never somebody who left YouTube comments, who interacted with people on Twitter, and then eventually once I started getting attacked, I started responding to people in comment sections on Twitter, and now I can't stop. And when I see somebody attack one of the ideas that I hold dear, I go on the offensive. I don't mean to do it. I don't want to do it. I can't stop doing. I'm the most easily trolled person on the internet. I think we know that by now.
Boogie would make video after video after video, going back to the early days of his channel, telling the trolls just how much he didn't care about them. But the fact that he made so many videos where he discussed them would suggest otherwise.
And I enjoy every comment I ever get, no matter how derogatory or positive they have. One guy said I needed to get out and get laid. Get out and get laid? Dude, I've had some of the freakiest sex you can. People suggest I get a better job. Hey, I ran my own small business for 10 years. I'm working on websites, designing photography, and helping pioneer the internet. Can you say that?
For every person that ever left a negative comment on my YouTube stream, they have no videos of their own. You know, if you want to tell me I'm fat, stupid, and disgusting, do it in a video response. I'd love to see it. The whole internet would love to see it. You know, let's put a face to the trolls.
I've received threatening emails. People have attempted to hack my MySpace. I've been harassed, told I was fat and ugly and stupid, made fun of, had my videos posted on all kinds of blogs, either making fun of me for being fat.
And if you're one of those people, I really want to talk to you. So you're the guy I want to see in the comment box below. It's the guys who type things like, "You're so fat, you're so dumb." And then, how about, man, you should just get off the internet. I'm not getting off the internet, man. It's free reign. I can do whatever the hell I want to here. If I want to walk around and lift my shirt and go, I'm going to do it, man. You're not going to stop me. This is America, baby. I live in America.
It got me thinking about the trolls that frequent my, my YouTube channel and the different videos or whatever. And it makes me think of some of the forums out there that are dedicated to, people being trolly and trollish and like I was trying to tell him, one of the reasons that stuff doesn't bother me at all is because I understand the sociological, biological necessity of it. And
it also didn't help when Boogie would make entire videos dedicated to reading out main comments. He thought by doing this, it would show just how little he cared. But if anything, it just made the haters and trolls even more determined to leave those mean comments, because now there was a chance Boogie would read them out on camera. All he was doing was feeding the trolls more and more.
This fat ugly douche has over 2 million views, but yet he has no friends in the real world. When do my friends hear about that? Guys are all imaginary. Give your money and food to the poor, you disgusting fat filth. And this comment was left by Jesus Christ. He is almost as fat as an American. I am American. I'm glad to know that you think other Americans are fatter than me, because I am actually one of the fattest Americans, but I won't let you down. I'll get as fat as American. I bet when he steps on a scale, on the bottom it reads, "I want your weight, not your phone number." Alright, that's pretty good. You're so fat, the back of your head looks like a pack of wieners. Oh, you guys are hilarious, man. Hey, where's the bra I told you to wear, fat tits? You're so fat, 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 fat. Sadly, Boogie looked himself up on Google and found the definition fat ass. Boogie's so fat he's got pesos in one pocket and yen in the other. Can't tell what's lazier, you or your left eye. There's something on your chin. No, not that one. The fourth one down. Boogie is so fat, when I pictured him in my head, he broke my neck. You don't even need the internet, you are already worldwide.
Those videos where Boogie read main comments did nothing to deter the trolls, although the videos did do decent views for him. Okay everybody, Mr. Snowflake here, coming at you live through the power of YouTube. Today I will be reading some main comments, so let's get into it. Mr. Snowflake secretly pays for Jason Blaha's coaching. It's not a secret, he's actually very knowledgeable, much better than Atheline X. As a fellow British person, it's safe to say that along with James Corden, Mr. Snowflake is a national tragedy. I actually really like James Corden. I hear he's a really nice guy, so actually that's a compliment. Mr. Snowflake is the Tom Platz of cookie cutters. Thank you, Tom Platz is great, thank you. You're the new Leo Longevity. Well, Leo is a great, honest, legitimate guy, so that's a compliment. And he rocks a turtleneck like nobody else's business, so. Mr. Snowflake has the worst physique on the worstest? Mr. Snowflake has the worstest physique on all of YouTube. Don't think it's cool to discuss people's bodies. It's ironic that Mr. Snowflake makes videos about fitness channels, yet he himself has the physique of a high school freshman. Again, why mention people's bodies? I wouldn't discuss someone's weight or physique. Silly comment, makes no sense. And I'm actually really jacked. Conspiracy theory, Mr. Snowflake covers his face and changes his voice because he is actually Jason Blaha. No, I'm not Jason Blaha, okay? End of conversation. No more Jason Blaha talk, okay? That's non-negotiable. Thank God Mr. Snowflake is here to give us what we all need. Thank you. Yet another commentary channel, but with even less personality. Jimmy Bunker is funnier than you. Channels like Mr. Snowflake makes me wish my Wi-Fi was out. No one's forcing you to watch, you know. Dear Mr. Snowflake, wet fart noise. Mr. Snowflake has the editing skills of an ape on mushrooms. I've actually gotten really good at editing. I'm better than most now. All I know is that Mr. Snowflake is Vegan Gains' biggest OnlyFans subscriber. Vegan Gains produces really good content for his OnlyFans, so even George R.R. Martin, don't know who that is faster than you at releasing sequels. Tom Platz Part 2. You know what, Jimmy? If you ever helped, we could have covered every bodybuilder in history, but you tell me you're busy at work, then your boss sends me this? So, sod off. If YouTube was a pair of underwear, Mr. Snowflake would be the brown stain that will never be washed out. Everyone knows Jimmy writes all the scripts. Sod off, Jimmy. Mr. Snowflake once bought Jason Genova a Burger King meal so he could watch Genova... Alright, I'm not reading that. Snowflake checks eBay for good... Boogie spent way too much of his time checking what people thought about him.
So I do read the comments all the time. I read what you guys have to say. I farm for compliments on Twitter and elsewhere. A lot of people are being very critical about the job that I'm doing here on YouTube, which is welcome, by the way. I read your comments. I read your tweets. In fact, I spent the last 8 hours when I should have been sleeping reading your comments and trying to determine what I was going to say in this video today. But that said, some of you seem to be overly critical to an extent, and I don't really understand what it is I'm supposed to do to please you. And this has always been the case.
And one place that really didn't like him was Reddit. So much information was added to Reddit all about how Boogie was just an awful human being. But Boogie didn't really care about Reddit.
And as people know on Reddit, I am persona non gratis. A lot of people there don't like me, so I decided...
Boogie may not have cared if people liked him or not on Reddit, but Francis seemed to.
Boogie's not here. Did I see Reddit today? Oh, I've seen Reddit today. Ooh, we don't like Boogie anymore. Good, I don't f***ing like you. I don't f***ing like you, Reddit. Okay? I don't care. I never cared. Here's how... Alright. Hey, let me show you something real quick. Hold on, let me show you something. Okay? Here is right here. Hold on, this is a magic card. This is not what I was going to show you. You guys want to see this? Oh, you guys want to see this? You ready for this? You see what this is? This is the world's tiniest violin, okay? Playing the tiny little dirge for how little of a shit I give about what Reddit thinks about me. Okay? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Reddit can suck my entire... And that only takes like 30 seconds. But when they're done, Reddit can kiss my entire... Okay? I don't care. I don't care.
One particular troll that got to Boogie was a man named Frank Hassel. Boogie went back and forth arguing with him online. They even appeared on Keemstar's Drama Alert arguing. Drama Alert, for anyone who doesn't know, is like a watered-down, less successful version of Snowflake Alert. Boogie could have not responded to him. He could have not argued with him back and forth. He could have handled the situation better than he did.
I will take out trash if I have to, okay? Step foot on my... Hey, Frank, Frank, listen. Frank, I need you to listen, baby, okay? And I'm going to hang up and you can say whatever you want to.
You're crying and
I'm not crying, Frank.
Eventually, Frank turned up at Boogie's house.
Come on, you... What's the deal? Where's the gun at, you fat... Open fire! Open fire! You won't even open the door?
Boogie would come to the door with a gun and fire a warning shot in the air. Frank quickly left the scene, but Boogie would face the consequences for shooting a gun in a residential area.
For those of you wondering why I haven't been on social media, it is because I was in fact charged when a stalker came to my house. Because of that, I ended up cutting a vacation short. I ended up coming home and turning myself into the detainment center. They processed me in about 4 hours. I posted bail and was released to await trial, which will probably be quite some time. We've entered a plea of not guilty and are just going to do everything we can to make sure that justice is served properly. And
Boogie could have not answered the door to Frank. He could have not brought the gun outside. There were lots of things he could have done or not done that would have prevented him from being arrested. Boogie would acknowledge that himself. But Boogie seemed far too interested in communicating with any troll, almost to the point of obsession. Perhaps the reason he seemed obsessed with them is because he used to be one of them.
When the internet was new, 96, 97, 98, I was a cyberbully. I was a person who was in a lot of mental and physical pain. I was very angry at the world, and I wanted to take it out on the internet. And boy did I. I harassed people in IRC. I made fun of people. I posted pictures of tub girls to forums. We would just get up to the worst kind of stuff. And I have to live with those stupid, ignorant decisions that I made to be a willful asshole for the rest of my life. And not only does it keep me awake at night, not only do I feel guilty about it, but at the end of the day, I'm reaping the karma for it right now, because on a daily basis, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on web forums, no matter where my videos get posted and shared, there are people who are constantly ripping into me.
Trolls have played a huge part in Boogie's YouTube journey. Most successful YouTubers will have had to deal with a troll at some point. Even I have trolls. But do I let it bother me? Boogie would eventually just start blocking any troll he came across on Twitter, rather than argue with them all night. But for every troll he blocked, 2 more would take its place. If only Boogie took his own advice.
Take care of the people that take care of you, and love the people that love you. And the people who don't, why do they factor into your day? Why do you think about them? Why do you deal with them? I mean, even if it's your online job, even if it's your job in real life, if people aren't your customers, if people aren't your fans, if people aren't your friends, then why waste a second of your time on them, worrying about them, what they want, what they like, especially when it comes to somebody who dislikes you, who is against you, who's mad at you. There's some criticism to be had there. You should listen to it. You should accept it. You should resonate on it. But at the end of the day, right? Take what you can from it. Otherwise...
Thankfully, he would realize that arguing with trolls on Twitter all night was not good for him.
So first off, let me talk a little bit about the fact that the last 2 weeks I have pretty much stopped using social media, or at least I have changed the way that I do social media, because we all have to admit the way I was using social media was a very unhealthy cycle. It's something that I've really been doing for the last couple of years. It got worse and worse and worse every single day. So I decided I finally needed to put some distance between me and the rest of the internet. It's pretty obvious as to why that was necessary.
Boogie not using Twitter so much didn't last long though, and he was right back to arguing with strangers. He just couldn't help himself.
At this time, I started Googling my name every day. I was searching my name on Reddit every day. I was searching my name on Twitter every day. I basically, I can't check Reddit on a single day or Twitter on a single day without seeing somebody say, oh, I used to watch him, but I don't watch him anymore because he's manipulative and he's a whiner and he's a baby. And it's because I talk about the mental and physical issues that I'm facing every day. Some people just don't like that, and other people consider it to be manipulative and shitty and awful. And that's reasonable because some people will talk about that stuff to manipulate. A specific tweet from somebody who said, I used to love Boogie. I used to trust him. But now that I know that he's a liar and a manipulator, I no longer know who to turn to. It sucks because I feel so alone. And
one reason why the trolls went after Boogie as much as they did was because of his apparent lies and manipulation of his audience. He has been accused for many years now of trying to manipulate people into feeling sorry for him, and by Boogie's very own account, he learned how to manipulate very well.
The skill set that I've learned is completely fabricated. I mean, I built it out of a box. Because many of you know I came from an abusive home, and the skill set that I was originally given was poison. I learned not how to negotiate but manipulate. I learned how, not to be kind but to be cruel. I learned not to forgive but to judge. And those are the skills that I brought into my daily life.
And longtime fans began to notice some inconsistencies in his videos. In one video, he would tell his audience that he's never been happy once in his life.
It's fine. I'm used to being miserable, right? I've been miserable for 45 years. I don't suspect it's going to change anytime soon.
Then, in another, would tell fans how he is now truly happy for the first time ever. Was he lying back then and telling the truth now? Or was he telling the truth then and lying now? And that wasn't the end of the inconsistent statements from Boogie.
I want to make your life better, and I don't worry about the views, I'm not worried about the money, I'm not worried about anything else. I'm just worried about keeping you entertained and making you laugh and maybe hoping you feel something every once in a while and just enjoy your time here spending it with me. This first thing I want to complain about is yesterday I made a video complaining about YouTube's lack of pushing videos out to people who want notifications, people who are subscribed, and the suppression of certain keywords, and then surprise, surprise, my video got suppressed. So it's done about half the views that most videos, even a failed video, would have done on my channel so far in the first 24 hours. Like, maybe I'm impervious to that stuff, and I am, but I'm not. A lot of people think of me as a fence sitter. A lot of people think of me as someone who is fairly centrist and neutral, and yeah, that's who I've been my whole life. A lot of people think of me as someone who is fairly centrist and neutral, and yeah, that's who I've been my whole life.
Another thing longtime fans picked up on was when Boogie would tell them about his terrible upbringing. In one video, Boogie would say how he just assumed the abuse he suffered was normal and that he thought every child was going through it. Then in another video, he would tell them how he wanted to record the abuse to show people what was happening. Many fans started to question what was true, and Boogie had some serious accusations thrown his way.
And the rumors got out of hand. Like, there's a lot of the obvious stuff, like I abuse women, you've heard that I abuse my dog, all this crazy stuff. Which, to me, since those are so unbelievable, like, no one in their right mind is going to believe that stuff. I genuinely don't think anybody with a brain.
Boogie, though, has been on the internet for a long, long time. Anyone who has as much footage as Boogie does of themselves would no doubt have some inconsistencies crop up. All that footage on his channel, all his thousands of videos, can be used by his detractors to show that Boogie isn't 100% genuine. They could just go to one video, then compare with what he says there to another, and spot the inconsistencies. Exactly what I'm doing now. Wait, am I a troll? No, it's the children who are wrong. His fans were getting confused as to who was the real Boogie. When he appeared on YouTube, he seemed like a different character to the Boogie who appeared on Twitch. He had at one point been called the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, a man who tried to be a good guy.
What I'm saying here is, yes, of course, I like getting lots of views on topics about trending topics, but I also really like sleeping at night, and the only way I can sleep at night is if I'm a good person and do the right thing and use this channel responsibly, so that's how I'm going to do it moving forward. You may not always agree with it, you may not always think we're on the same page, and if we don't, that's okay, we can agree to disagree.
And on Twitch...
Why do I have 2 beds? One for me and one for my hooker. One for me and one for my hooker. One for me and one for my hooker. One for me and one for the hooker. One for me and one for...
On Twitch, he definitely seemed like a different person to his YouTube character. Twitch Boogie would make more risky jokes than YouTube Boogie.
I know I can be very different because I make racy jokes and edgy jokes and goofy jokes on Twitch, whereas here, I'm a little more family friendly, so be warned about that. For
I'm
YouTube.
a black person.
Sprockle, I'm glad to hear you're still black. And thanks for 2 months of support, man. That's a lot of money, I guess, for a person of color, or is it not? I don't know.
Right, are your parents still alive by chance?
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah, they are.
And are your parents still together?
No.
Okay, all right. So maybe I should take point then.
What?
Well, if your parents aren't together, then you probably come from a broken home. You're probably going to get real angry when you start losing. So.
I won last game, but that was my first game on.
All right, well, maybe you just learned how to channel that anger. All right, I wish you luck, man, then. Good luck. My parents died. And, yep, her. And now she's dead.
And
Actually,
you
both of them are dead. The girl is dead, my mom is dead, everyone I know and love is dead.
Wait, the girl died?
Whoa!
Yeah,
she died of 39 of, like, fucking lung cancer. She had breast cancer, and they beat the breast cancer, but then the treatment for the breast cancer gave her lung cancer.
Oh my god, that sounds absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, bro.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. I mean, I didn't go through it. I'm still alive. She's dead.
Damn.
Oh.
Brutal.
There was much outrage at the way Boogie spoke of his dead friend. He claimed that it was just his dark, edgy sense of humour coming out, but many believed it wasn't a joke, and that Boogie was just a horrible, insensitive person. But when we go back to his early days on YouTube, and Boogie first announced that she had cancer, he did seem genuinely upset by it.
Recently, a very important person to me was diagnosed with breast cancer. It's not early stage, and we don't know how late stage it is. And it's going to be a very painful experience for her. She's going to...
So perhaps it was just Boogie trying to be funny, although many just found it cringy rather than funny. But that was Boogie's sense of humour after all.
If I'm going to put it on the internet, it's probably going to be fun, it's probably going to be interesting, it might be cringy and weird because I love that sense of humor, but...
His early YouTube days were a lot more similar to his Twitch persona.
Oh, your Halloween outfits, I mean, I am not going to lie to you. I like, if you want to wear a skirt that's like a 1/4 inch from your ass crack, I'm not going to argue with you. That's a good decision. You're making good decisions. Two suggestions though. The first, could you stop being, 15? Because you're making me feel like a pedophile. And secondly, could you do it in this general area? Just kind of wear that on, just set right down here in the face area, please.
It appears as though over the years he has toned down his sense of humour for YouTube. And who can blame him, with all of these censors on YouTube these days. I had way more clips of early Boogie trying to be funny, but the stuff he kept talking about YouTube just wouldn't let me show. He would at one point even tone down his Twitch persona because he knew people would be looking to be offended by one of his edgy jokes.
And then when I did live stream, I was withholding my sense of humor, my goofiness, my weirdness, my offensive humor, because just some people were looking for that, looking to be offended by that, coming to that stream with the sole desire of finding something that they might be offended by, but also then sharing it with as many people as they could so that they would be offended by me as well. I don't... here on YouTube, I play a very different character than I play on Twitch, which is, YouTube has always been the best version of me. This is the version of me I'm trying to be. Twitch has always been the opposite of that. Twitch has always been an Andy Kaufman style, edgy, Goofy, Sam Kinison, Dave Chappelle, Andy Kaufman, kind of Andrew Dice Clay character that I played.
But still, the difference from YouTube Boogie and Twitch Boogie was off-putting for many. It caused much of his audience to question when he was actually being himself. What was an act and what was the truth?
Could you stop being, 15?
Boogie only added to the confusion when he bought himself a brand new car, a Tesla. Why would buying a car cause any confusion though? Well, Boogie told fans that he could easily afford it, then later said he could barely afford it, and told his audience that he didn't actually buy a car at all, that he just put down a down payment rather than buy it outright. However, he did originally tell people he had bought himself the car. Then he asked fans to donate money so he could afford it.
If you guys want to help me pay for my Tesla, please go ahead and dig deep. I sure would like a free Tesla. Reach down in your pockets and give me a...
Although Boogie claims he was just joking and didn't really want fans to give him money for the car. And perhaps he was just joking, but because people weren't sure which Boogie they were viewing, some weren't sure if he was joking or did genuinely want people to donate money. He then accused the internet of getting it all wrong when he was questioned as to why he lied about buying a car. So, did he get the car or not?
What I thought I'd do today is take you guys for a test ride in my Tesla because so many people are interested in. So let's go ahead and hop in the Tesla. That's right, I don't have a Tesla. That's right, because I never did buy it. Because I realized it would be a big waste of money. And even though I was just going to pay for it myself, people got it into their heads that I was somehow wanting my fans to pay for it. And that just gave me like a negative connotation. So I'll hop in my car. Actually, this is my roommate's car. So I'll hop in. I don't even own a car right now. I forgot.
He may not have bought the car in the end, but the whole situation was pretty confusing, and it only helped add more fuel to the notion that Boogie wasn't always 100% genuine with his audience.
And I sucked at being happy because it was new to me. But this I'm used to. This feels like home. This is where I prosper, so.
Now that some fans were beginning to question whether or not he was always being truthful with them, anything he had told them in the past was now up for debate. Did it happen or did he make it up? People even began questioning the validity of his horrific childhood stories. When talking about his childhood, many accused him of acting, putting on crocodile tears or a crack in his voice. His previous video, where he drew his sad life, which once seemed genuine and heartbreaking, now to some just seemed like an actor putting on a performance.
I pretty much was always sick, and because I didn't get much physical activity, I also got really fat. All that drinking and smoking and coal mining caught up to my dad. Something went wrong in his brain. They called it alcoholic seizures, though it pretty much was just like a stroke, and it left him like a stroke victim. That's really, really sad. And as you can imagine, all this made me really, really sad. I didn't really have any friends at school either, which kind of sucked. The kids at school would call me fat or ugly or gross. 4 eyes, of course, because eventually I got glasses, and man, that was hard. And life just kind of went on like that for years. I was always pretty sad, and people were always kind of mean to me, and Mom was always kind of crazy.
Boogie told us about his sad life on the whiteboard, but he wasn't the only one who had it tough. Growing up, I was extremely good looking. So good looking, in fact, I had to wear a hood, so the other kids at school would stop calling me names like handsome, pretty boy, and 2 eyes, because I didn't wear glasses. When I was older, I would get attention from women everywhere I went because of how good looking I was. I wore the hood to hide it, but I was so good looking, women could still tell. The ripped body didn't help either. I was so fit, whenever I got a cold or ill, it would barely last a day and I would be fine. Then I met Jimmy Bunker, who is my best friend. He saw past the good-lookingness and told me how to be less good-looking. Just try to be more like him, he said. Grow a huge beard and just be gross in general. But no matter what I did, I just couldn't be as unappealing to women as Jimmy Bunker. To thank Jimmy for his help though, I began making YouTube videos to make him laugh. Then it made other people laugh. People I didn't know. People from America. People from Australia. People from Sweden. And even a few shape-shifting lizards. I got married to a woman who gave birth to my daughter, which made me sad because I wanted a son. When most men would spend their time playing Call of Duty on Xbox, I was spending my time with two people who loved me. I was so sad. I just wanted to be like everyone else. And hey, maybe she will divorce me and take the kid away, and I can finally be like everyone else, alone in their room, playing Xbox. And maybe she will, if I keep ignoring them to make YouTube videos that barely anyone watches. Here's hoping one day. Here's hoping.
Because every time you create a video, every time you post something, you do have to ask yourself, is this entertaining? Is this informative? Is it useful? Is it inspiring? Will it help somebody? Is there a point to the thing that I'm creating? Otherwise, it's just incessant whining about first world problems, and nobody wants to watch that. None of that.
Not only were people now suspicious of who was the real Boogie, but many of his audience were getting a little tired of Boogie talking about his rough upbringing so often.
I was tortured from a very early age, in pretty much every way imaginable.
My childhood sucked. We grew up very poor. My mom was crazy. My dad was an alcoholic.
I've been different my whole life. I grew up poor. I grew up overweight. I was sick all the time. When I got to be a teenager, I liked things that other people in my town didn't like. I liked role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons.
2009, because 2009 was the worst year of my life. I was physically unhealthy, mentally unhealthy. I'd just gotten out of a bad relationship. I was crazier than I've ever been. I ended up on disability in 2007. I was shut in. I was broke. I was unhappy. I was miserable.
That is to say, not that my family didn't have money, just that I didn't ever see any of it. My dad was a coal miner. He collected a fair amount of income. And my mother, she worked for the U.S. government teaching a preschool program called Head Start. So they had decent income. It's just they didn't like to spend it on us kids. At least on. Instead, what I got was a family that left me with a lot of baggage and a lot of poisons. I've been big the entirety of my life. I was in 4th grade. I weighed about 50 pounds more than the other
Outside my home, I was made fun of. I was mocked. The best of the kids in my high school just left me alone. The worst of them put bras in my locker.
I was heavier than the other kids by 25, 50 pounds age because I had parents that were neglectful and directly harmful to me, who damaged me in every possible. My mother and my father, or my mother and one of the kids, or my brother and my sister fighting, or even me fighting with my mother, or whatever. This is the kind of stuff that we were used to every day. Stuff getting smashed. I got spanked. I got slapped in the face a little bit, but nothing I would really consider abuse. And it's true that I was anxious and depressed because of my bad past. That is the reason that happened. I closed the door to get away from her, and she began hammering through the door, similar to The Shining, I guess. There were times where she would beat me to near death and then take me to Pizza Hut right afterwards. Through therapy over the years, I have learned that my eating disorder and what I've done to my body largely stems from the fact that I was born into a family full of crazy people who did not want me there, and they mentally... I was, if you're unfamiliar with my history, you may not know, I was in a nightmare situation. I was in an abusive home where mental and physical abuse happened every day, every single day.
Not only would Boogie talk so often about his difficult upbringing, but Boogie would make video after video about how his current situation wasn't easy for him either.
I mean, I'm also heavily medicated. I take both Tramadol and Zoloft, and both seem to help with my anxiety, social and otherwise. So, yay, medicine, my neighbor. Even when I'm just existing, I still deal with a lot of social anxiety. Want to know what that's like? It goes like this. Okay, we're doing good. We're just listening. We're listening like a normal person. Wait, no, we need to say something. Oh God, why are we saying this? What is it we're saying? He thinks we're an idiot. They think I'm an idiot. Shut up, just shut up, just shut up. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Jesus, they think you're weird. Just nod your head. Act like... I will tell you, as someone with a social anxiety disorder, being in bed now feels like prison. It does. I've been stuck in a chair. I've been stuck in bed for as long as I can remember, and I hate it. I just want to do more. I just want to do more. I want to be more. I want to go more. I want to be alive. The stuff you guys take for granted. That my house is not as clean as I want it to be. I just... that everything is kind of awful. Nothing affects me emotionally very much at all. I'm kind of dead inside. But here's the truth, and I see no reason to say anything other than truth. As you guys know, I went through a divorce and I went through gastric bypass surgery, and my depression and anxiety has been worse than it's ever. I get physically exhausted pretty easily because I'm really fat, but mentally, I am just drained. I mean, I don't have the energy to play a video game, to spend time doing things. What I end up doing is I go to sleep in bed, and I will sleep until my anxiety and my nightmares wake me up, and then I'll transfer to my living room and sit in my recliner, and I'll eat a little breakfast, and I'll play some video games, and then I'll take like a 2-hour nap. And I told my therapist recently that there's an AI program at Google that could destroy my livelihood without remorse, and I'm terrified of it. And he's just like, you need more pills. But it's true. It's true. That's the YouTube is joining the fray of things that are difficult, more difficult than, doing YouTube has never been an easy job. Just because of having to focus on exercise and trying to focus on the real world and getting out in front of the computer and taking, I'm so overextended. Again, talking to a therapist, this is a different therapist a few months back. And if I'm not myself today, please forgive me. It's because I did not sleep very well and have not for what seems like 6 months. So, this is going to be a fairly self-indulgent video because I want to talk a lot and I'm going to complain a lot. And hopefully you guys can bear with me because this is going to be kind of like therapy. I'm also in therapy. I don't like the therapist I've talked to the last couple times, so I'm looking for someone new. The right word. Because there is a giant hole in my chest that hurts really, really bad. A lot of people don't know about me, but I suffer from almost crippling social anxiety disorders. And other anxiety disorders as well. I've been medicated off and on for it, and I'm dealing with arthritis, I'm dealing with my inability to walk, I'm dealing with being housebound almost, I'm dealing with having a lot of issues. This last week I've been struggling with a lot of stuff, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff up in here, did a lot of stuff in here. Now, as you guys know, I have an anxiety disorder, and I also have chronic depression. Those things. What I'm complaining about is my skill set, my mental skill set, my brain, my body, and its inability to do these things. So my legs, my back are just killing me, and my head is killing me, and my stupid anxiety disorder has been keeping me from doing a lot of the things that I want to do. Time-consuming stuff, the social media management, and the bookkeeping, the accounting, and the emails, and all that stuff. And there's plenty of things I could complain about because Lord knows, if I was handed a $100 bill, I would complain that it was wrinkled. I'm a complainer for sure, but honestly.
His views, perhaps unsurprisingly, began to not be what they were, because people knew what a Boogie video would be. It would be 10 minutes of complaining. People have busy lives. Well, most of us do anyway.
I'm busy too.
Hold on, man, I'm coming back.
And when we get some free time, we want to feel good or be entertained.
It's a double rainbow.
So we'll watch a good show on Netflix, or play a game, or watch a documentary made by our favourite YouTuber. When we get free time, we don't want to listen to someone complain over and over and over. That doesn't make us feel good, and if people aren't feeling good watching your videos, they will eventually stop watching. Trust me, I know a thing or two about people not watching your videos. Far too many of Boogie's videos was him just saying the same stuff, and it was usually largely negative, and eventually he realised it himself. The majority just didn't want to watch that type of content on his channel, although at first he seemed a little defiant.
My health, and I focus on my mental health. If you're not into that type of content, a lot of people aren't. They complain about it an awful lot. If you're not, I highly recommend you don't watch this video because I'm definitely going to talk about exclusively that in this video, but thanks for clicking on it. And I'm going to talk about a whole lot of topics that trigger a lot of people. I'm going to talk about my weight loss. I'm going to talk about my mental health. I'm going to talk about my divorce. I'm going to talk about all kinds of stuff that makes people roll their eyes and get super frustrated and get super irritated because it's what I want to talk about today. And it's my channel, and I'm going to do what I want. Plenty of times in my life, I thought I hit rock bottom.
And Boogie didn't really care if it was hurting his channel or not. All that mattered to him was if it helped someone.
So even if it's damaging to my YouTube channel, even if it's damaging to my brand, if it helps just one person, you gotta do it. The good news.
It takes a strong man to do something that he knows is hurting his career, but he knows it's the right thing to do anyway.
Let's talk about the content that I'm not making right now. Obviously, I haven't really been putting much personal stuff online. And I think it's a big part because people don't want to hear about that stuff anymore. Nobody wants to hear about my problems. They don't want to hear about my mental health, my physical health, because you guys are dealing with your own issues. You're dealing with your own problems. So why do you want to hear about mine, right? I think what you guys want to hear from me and what you guys want to see from me is actual content, interesting content, funny stuff, weird stuff, gaming stuff, whatever it is.
Ah, never mind. So, after he made that video where he told his audience, no more complaining, no more mental health talk, what type of videos did Boogie make?
You probably know that all of this, all of the outwardly trouble, it all really comes down to childhood onset complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Something that came up in therapy recently that I want to share with you is I don't allow myself to get help, and I don't help myself because I don't feel I've earned or deserve that help. Yay!
Boogie talking about his mental health so often, or complaining about his life in general these days, didn't alienate all of his audience, of course. There were some fans that it actually helped, but to an awful lot of people, it just turned them off from his channel. And it wasn't like all of his viewers who began to turn off were unsympathetic to Boogie's problems. They just didn't want to hear about them in every video. But rather than Boogie concentrate on making entertaining content for his audience, he was treating his videos like a therapy session.
And I don't want to stop doing them because they are like therapy for me. So what I enjoy talking about that stuff, it helps me to get that stuff out of my head and into the world. But
say what you want about Boogie, but at least the man is self-aware.
I just choose not to focus on the pain. I choose not to focus on the misery, and I choose not to spread the misery and pain. Spreading misery just creates more misery. Spreading hope creates hope, and hope's great. Hope is awesome. So of course I'm hopeful. Of course I spread a message of hopefulness.
Since Boogie's wife had left him, he had come across as quite a lonely character, arguing with trolls all night long and making more and more videos about his poor mental health. It seemed like he could do with getting back out there, maybe start dating again. And he did.
I was with a girl, I was on top for the first time with a girl recently.
Wow.
I was like, this is awesome. We're still having to do like edge of bed stuff, and I swear to God, she had to be like the open-mindedest girl in the world, because I literally had to like lift it up and put it on her
Wow.
I'm like, I'm sorry, dear, but you're into it, so thank you. I managed to do a little bit of I can't believe, I'm so sorry to my core audience, because you guys are not used to this. I'm so sorry.
No, this
I managed to do a little bit of this girl, okay, so we're really getting into it. This girl is like straight up like it. Arkansas 10, but like an LA 8 probably. I mean, and so she does like, she's a good looking girl.
What's she look like? I mean, what's her weight?
She's about 110. I think she's having like some weight issues because like she does like camming and stuff for a living.
Oh shit.
And so she like, you know, they always want her to be smaller than she actually is.
Really?
Yeah. And it was she's great. Like it was like she was really healing. She was really like on board, and she like knew my work, and like
God
she was
bless.
really helpful.
How old is she? How old is she? What's the age?
She will be able to legally drink soon.
Damn, you dog, dude.
Yeah, it was bad, man.
It's not bad. She's illegal. You're out there. You're shaking your.
It was, you know, but that's fine. You know,
look,
it was fine. I can't believe I'm talking about that. I've never even talked about this on my stream. But this is what you do to me. You just get this.
I didn't show it there because the YouTube censors wouldn't have liked it. But while on the H3H3 podcast, Boogie bragged about his conquest of his latest lady friend. But join me on Twitch later, where I'll be going into depth all about it and making love to a horse. The lady he was discussing so sweetly was a woman named Lucy Fox. He had met her on a sugar daddy's website, and he seemed pretty happy with how it was going. He was enjoying her company, and he seemed genuinely happy again. So, how did Lucy think it went?
So, I dated a YouTuber, and for his sake, I'm just gonna call him, what should I call him? Apple. Okay, so Apple, I met Apple, and Apple was nice at first, as most apples are. And I thought, well, you know, let's see how it goes. You know, he seems like a nice guy. He was, you know, going through some stuff, so I thought I would be there for him and help him through some stuff. So that's what I did. You know, I would go over to his house every day. I'd take care of him, have him talk about, you know, his issues. And so we started dating for a couple months. He was dealing with some emotional problems, and if you know what I do for a job, then you know I have to be at home in order to be on cam. Well, I couldn't do that because it would turn into an argument every time I tried to leave. Why are you trying to leave me? You know I need somebody right now. Blah, 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 blah. You know, it started really getting to me because I was putting in all this effort to help Apple with his personal problems, and it kind of felt like everything that I was going through and everything I was dealing with in my personal life did not matter. Because, oh, he has it so bad. Oh, he has it. Look, when you have so much money in the bank off of people that you are emotionally, verbally manipulating into giving you cash, and trust me, I have been through quite a bit, but I do not come up on the internet and complain about every little detail that is wrong with my life. Because every time I try to leave your house, you scream and yell at me. Alright, fair enough. Here's $500. It got to the point where every night I'd go home in tears because Apple thought it was a good idea to scream at me, you know, about everything. Oh, you're not, you know, you're not here enough. You aren't, you know, you're just annoying and you just don't want to listen to me, blah, 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 blah. You know, you don't mean to me, you don't mean shit, you're just a fucking piece of shit. Okay, well, thanks. Appreciate it. Noticing that Apple likes to refer to somebody as his hooker. Oh, I'm gonna pay my hookers for this, blah, 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 blah. I have not seen this man since March. So, whatever hooker he's referring to, it's not me. I got tired of being treated like I was dirt on the side of the road. And I was tired of being treated like I was less than. So, you can keep, you know, talking shit or whatever and pulling in all those thousands and thousands of viewers who you know are struggling financially, but you don't care because they're giving you nice donations. Also, I was never, like I said in the beginning of this, I was never told to sign an NDA. I was just told to keep his name out of my mouth. So, I am. Just talking about an asshole.
Lucy would not be the only person Boogie would publicly fall out with. A man named Alan Roberts from the YouTube channel Every Damn Day Fitness uploaded a video to YouTube with some constructive criticism and advice for Boogie.
At one point in time, he got the surgery, and he made a quote that I put in a video and stated that he felt that he could eat whatever he wanted and still lose weight. And I personally said, that is a serious warning sign. That it is, has not addressed his food addictions, and it was a serious warning sign. A plea to the family and friends of Boogie2988, somebody get a hold of him and talk to him about getting some inpatient therapy. I deal with a lot of food addicts. My wife and I deal with a lot of food addicts on a daily basis. We deal with a lot of people that need to lose a lot of weight. And to his fans, this is not to be mean at all. This is not me trying to be mean. This is a warning. I'm hoping that you, as his fans, can encourage him to get in this video how he is just going to be okay if 10 years is all he has, And that is tragic. That is tragic. This is a man that plays video games for a living. He's got the world, in the palm of his hand, basically. I mean, he gets paid a good amount of money to talk on a camera and play video games. It doesn't get much easier now. He's got a lot of trauma. I'm not trying to diminish that. I'm not trying to belittle that. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I am trying to state that every one of his fans should be highly concerned. I say it all the time just so people don't think that I'm trying to fat shame anybody. I am trying to make it so people understand that you should love yourself enough to want to live a long time. Boogie, you should love yourself enough to want to live. You've been through a lot of things, you've lived through a lot of things, and you've come out the other side. You should be proud of yourself enough that you want to live as long as you can.
Boogie didn't take too kindly to the video, saying that if Alan was serious about helping, he would have privately messaged him rather than making video. But Alan already did privately message him, but got no response. Alan seemed genuine and sincere with wanting to help Boogie, but Boogie didn't see it that way.
I made a video about Boogie a while back, about a month or so ago back, stating that I was worried about him, stating it was to his family, friends, and fans because he was talking very morbid stuff. And he went on the H3 podcast and completely misrepresented what I said. I originally made the video. Boogie went onto Reddit and posted a Reddit clip trying to basically get his fans, his most diehard fans, to come over and discuss things with me. And I take what I do very seriously. I try to help people get from obese states to healthy weights. I take it very seriously. And when somebody tries to go after that, I take that very seriously too, Boogie. I in some way his mind warped. I don't know, but me stating that he should get help for very morbid things led to this somehow.
He made a video about I said on Twitch one night, I'm like, I don't know that I'll ever get smaller than 350 pounds because I'm really happy at my current size.
In the clip I was discussing, he said he was happy, but he also said this.
Being as big as I am right now at 350 pounds, I'm still going to die early, being 350 pounds. And if I'm being entirely honest with you, and I see no reason not to be entirely honest with you, but though I don't want to worry you guys, I don't care about dying.
Boogie would eventually bury the hatchet with Alan.
I'm not very good at taking criticism. I think we've all agreed on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he may have made friends with this particular YouTuber, but there were still plenty out there who weren't exactly his biggest fan.
On YouTube, he's always super reasonable and well-spoken and tries to understand both people's side to a story and tries to sympathize with people. Then, on the other hand, he goes on 4chan and calls people beta cucks.
You gotta stop doing this, dude. I've said it before, a billion other people have said it, but you don't listen, and this is what's killing your channel.
Boogie is a liar. Boogie is a manipulator.
Just self-centered content talking about me.
Ex-wife's Twitter. She admits there was never any abuse. She admits there was never an NDA. Yet you continue to preach it like it's real. Really quick. The only reason why in my video I said that he got an NDA is because he said it. Making my share of mistakes in the last 18 months. They have been the worst 18 months of my life. But I've never been an abuser. I would myself before I would abuse another person. I would take my own life before I would do to others what has been done to me. And it's a real shame that you think otherwise. I promise you, if I ever make the mistake of being abusive to someone like my parents were to me, I will myself as the very next thing. That is manipulation. He is manipulating me. I can see right through it.
To me, every YouTuber I've met, I've liked. Every fan
I hate Boogie2988.
Leave him alone.
There's a Reddit thread that has gone throughout the years exposing the nice guy of YouTube, Boogie2988, as a complete fraud and a very manipulative, lying He told somebody in the DMs, because Boogie's always playing the victim. Oh, they're bullying me. I'm being harassed. Recently, he told somebody in the DMs that he got swatted twice in December, okay? So the Reddit decided, you know what? let's play a little detective here. They call the local police, all right, and they figure out if he got swatted or not. He was never swatted at all. So they call him out on Twitter, and he's like, yeah, I was swatted, but I got an agreement with my local police, and they're not gonna put that in the notes. And so they went back to the police, and they're like, look, this is what Boogie's saying on Twitter publicly, that you guys are not going to put it in the notes. And the police station said, no, that's false. Boogie's lying. Every single call we put as public notes so everybody can see every call. So Boogie is now exposed for lying about being swatted. Then he changed his story, and now he's trying to say that he was putting out that false information to mess with the trolls.
Boogie managed to become a huge YouTuber, a well-known, likable figure. However, because of everything that has happened with him, his channel now appears to be on a sharp downward spiral, losing thousands and thousands of subs every month. At one point he used to be able to upload any video and it would do really well. But now...
But if you clicked on this video, I'm going to ask a favor of you. I need your help. The back end of YouTube keeps telling me that less and less people are interested in my videos when they share them. That's less and less people clicking on them. So I need you to do me a favor. If you are a super fan, if you're someone who wants to support me, I want you to make a pledge today. Let me know in the comments section below if you pledge to do this. I want you to hit subscribe. I want you to hit notifications. And when you see one of my videos and recommended, when you see them on your notifications, when you see them in your sub box, you will click on them. You will drop a like. You will leave a comment. And you'll watch the video in its entirety. And if you really want to go above and beyond, share it with someone you think might like it. Because I think YouTube is currently burying my channel, possibly for good reason. I get it. But I want to make sure that super fans like you still get to see my videos. And that's the best way to make sure you do. And maybe we'll make some new fans along the way. So make a pledge if you're willing to do that. It would mean the world to me.
His most popular video was a fairly early one in his YouTube journey. It was him falling into a pool which has over 38 million views. Once Boogie's channel started to decline, Boogie tried to recreate that video and capture some of those old views, but it didn't work. He also tried to recreate the video that started it all for him, Francis getting hacked, but again the views weren't there like they used to be. Now and again a video will do pretty good views for him, like the video where he gets new teeth to replace his old rotten ones. But more often than not, his views are nowhere near what he would like them to be.
So the last couple of videos I've uploaded should have hit their target numbers, say 150,000. They didn't. I don't know if it's that you guys are getting bored of me, you're getting bored of my content. I don't know if it's the controversies I've been involved in. I don't know. It could be any number of things.
To this day, he still interacts with people clearly trying to bait him, and that perhaps will never change. Boogie admittedly cares too much about what others think about him. His weight doesn't seem to be going anywhere either, and if we go by his track record, then perhaps it never will go anywhere.
I just kind of was really proud of this video. It just shows me on my treadmill, but I think I look pretty good here. I think you can really see the weight loss in this video, and you can see me getting back up and moving again, and I think that's a really good thing, because if you don't know this, I wasn't joking when I said I put on 19 pounds during quarantine. I really just got stressed and anxious and...
Despite Boogie promising to stop doing the rambling videos where he would self-indulge in his own misery, he still makes them, and it isn't doing his channel any favors.
This is my rambling series, this is my vlogging series, which I just talk about life, the universe, things that are particularly interesting to me, how the world is impacting me and how I'm surviving. I like making these videos, but I haven't done it for a while because for some reason, even though they do get a large number of views, they also seem to get the largest number of unsubscribers. So it's counterintuitive. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel and you watch these videos, I really hope you will today.
Although he does make more of an effort to be more positive in his videos these days, and rather than always sat at home, he can be seen out visiting different places, his hopeful attitude to many seems forced and disingenuous. It wouldn't be the first time Boogie has done this.
And that is a tool that I've used on YouTube every single day. When I first started, I faked the positivity so that I could hopefully get people to watch and to also...
Repetition breeds contempt, and Boogie has repeated himself over and over and over, and still does it.
My eating disorder has also caused me to feel shame. and self-loathing and social anxiety and just misery of untold proportions. But I have to stop.
So not only did his fans get tired of his channel, but even Boogie himself seemed a little tired of it at times.
Then when it comes to YouTube, I realized I had a pretty major problem. I was creating YouTube videos as a career, as like a job, and not doing it because it was fun, not doing it because it was interesting, not doing it because it was fun to watch. I was just doing it for the wrong reason. So over the past...
Even the Francis videos weren't a guaranteed ratings winner for him anymore. Once YouTube started to demonetize Francis, Boogie was forced to make more videos just sat talking to camera. People would tune in to hear his opinion on subjects, but he would far too often fence it, not giving any interesting insights or viewpoints.
Should we give the ability to live stream on Facebook, knowing that some people are going to beat other people or shoot other people or murder other people? Is that moralistically the right decision? Here's what I can say. I don't know if that's the right answer.
Boogie did get better at this though, and when he felt strongly about something, he would happily share his thoughts.
Eat my ass, Logan Paul.
Boogie has ruined his reputation. Maybe he can reverse that, but maybe he can't. Perhaps he's done too much damage already.
Sex marriage. I love same-sex marriage. Let's do it. But the problem is, if we try to get it done right now, there's going to be a huge backlash. Okay? So let's try to do it in 20 years, in 10 years, and let's see if we can avoid the backlash, right? Let's just like slow.
The Holocaust is horrible. Absolutely horrible. But some good came out of it.
You gotta look for that
If you've been paying attention to me on social media, or even some here in these videos, you'll know I've been screwing up a lot lately, left and right. And when I got divorced, when I got gastric bypass surgery, I knew that it was only a matter of time before I started coming apart at the seams, that I was going to start making stupid mistakes, that I was going to say stuff, I was going to disassociate, I was going to depersonalize, I was going to say and do really stupid stuff, and eventually drive this whole career, this whole channel, the whole Twitch thing, just drive it all into the ground. And
as well as ruining his reputation, he may have ruined his channel for good. He may not be the most self-aware at times, but even he seems to realize that it might be all over for him on YouTube sooner rather than later. He started out as a guy being silly, trying to make others laugh. But over the years, the laughter has stopped, and it was replaced by a self-indulgent pity party.
Coming at you probably for the last time, because everybody's unsubscribing. I'm sitting here watching my live subscriber count, and I used to lose maybe like a guy every minute, but now I'm losing 2,000 people every minute. I'm bleeding subscribers. What the is this? What the is this? Are you guys mad at me? Did I hurt your feelings? Did I hurt your little feelers? Did I invade your little safe space? Is that it? Are you too busy being cuckolded that you can't subscribe to the channel anymore? Is that it? I try to do everything to please you people, and suddenly you don't like me anymore. I break shit. I buy all these cars to try to please you, and now you're subscribing by the thousands. I'm sorry, did I hurt your feelers? Did I invade your safe space? I work hard. I work hard on this fucking channel. I worked so fucking hard, you sons of bitches. I broke so much shit for you. And now it's fucking over. Now it's fucking over.
You're such a freaking vegan bro. Mr. Snowflake is the Jason Genova of YouTube commentators. Mr. Snowflake pretends he's a duck, but he's not. Mr. Snowflake's beard smells like Big Lenny after a workout. He gave up on making videos about his gains, must have realised that his gut will never be as muscular as Lenny's. You'd be nobody without the misfits, that's true. Mr. Snowflake, never heard of her. For the love of God, bring back the robo-narrator. Your nasal wheeze makes my ears bleed. Cookie cutter. Mr. Snowflake's dad is Rosie O'Donnell. Your channel name is a Freudian slip. Mr. Snowflake is jealous. Blaha had a girl like Moon Cookie. Your accent is confusing. Wow! YouTube got rid of the dislike button because of this channel. Well done, Jimmy. Snowflake has delusions of talent.